Today our topic is, what does it mean to live a good life? A Stoic answer. To live a good life, according to Stoicism, is not about having a lot of money, fame, or power. It is about living in harmony with nature, understanding what is within our control, and accepting what is not. The Stoics believed that the key to a good life lies in our mindset, our choices, and our ability to stay calm and rational, no matter what happens around us. Let's explore this idea step by step. First, let's talk about control. The Stoics teach us that some things are within our control, and some things are not. What is within our control? Our thoughts, our actions, our decisions, and our reactions. What is not within our control? Everything else: other people's opinions, the weather, the past, the future, and even our own bodies to some extent. This is a simple but powerful idea. If we spend our energy trying to control things we cannot change, we will feel frustrated and unhappy. But if we focus on what we can control, our own mind and behavior, we can find peace and strength, no matter what life throws at us. For example, imagine you are stuck in traffic. You cannot control the traffic, but you can control how you react to it. You can choose to be angry and stressed, or you can choose to accept the situation and use the time to think, listen to music, or simply relax. The Stoics would say that your happiness does not depend on the traffic, but on your attitude toward it. This is a small example, but it applies to bigger things too. If you lose your job, you cannot change the fact that it happened, but you can control how you respond. You can choose to learn from the experience, work hard to find a new job, and stay positive. This is the Stoic way: focus on what you can do, not on what you cannot change. Next, let's talk about virtue. The Stoics believe that the most important thing in life is to live virtuously. What does this mean? Virtue in Stoic philosophy means being a good person, wise, courageous, just, and self-disciplined. It means making choices that are honest, kind, and fair, even when it is difficult. The Stoics believe that virtue is the only true good in life, and everything else, money, health, successes, neither good nor bad. These things are indifferent because they do not determine whether we are good people or not. A rich person can be virtuous or not. A poor person can be virtuous or not. What matters is how we live, not what we have. For example, imagine two people. One is very rich and famous, but they are selfish and dishonest. The other is poor and unknown, but they are kind, hard-working, and honest. According to the Stoics, the second person is living a better life because they are living virtuously. This does not mean that money or success is bad. It simply means that these things are not what make life good. A good life comes from being a good person, no matter what your circumstances are. Now, let's talk about emotions. The Stoics are often misunderstood as people who suppress their emotions or do not feel anything. This is not true. The Stoics believe that emotions are natural, but they also believe that we should not let our emotions control us. Instead, we should use reason to understand our emotions and decide how to act. For example, if you feel angry, it is okay to feel that way. But you should not act on that anger in a harmful way. Instead, you should think about why you are angry and what you can do to solve the problem calmly and rationally. The Stoics also believe that many of our negative emotions like fear, anger, and sadness come from our own thoughts, not from the world around us. For example, if you are afraid of failing, it is not the failure itself that scares you, but your thoughts about it. The Stoics would say that failure is just an event. It is neither good nor bad. What matters is how you think about it. If you see failure as a chance to learn and grow, you will not be afraid of it. This is why the Stoics practiced mindfulness and self-reflection. They wanted to understand their own thoughts and change the ones that were causing them pain. Another important Stoic idea is the concept of the dichotomy of control. This is the idea that we should focus on what we can control and let go of what we cannot. This does not mean that we should not care about the world or other people. It simply means that we should not waste our energy on things we cannot change. For example, if you are worried about what other people think of you, the Stoics would say that you cannot control their opinions, so it is better to focus on being the best version of yourself. If you are kind, honest, and hardworking, you will feel good about yourself, no matter what others say. The Stoics also believed in the importance of gratitude. They taught that we should appreciate what we have instead of always wanting more. This does not mean that we should not have goals or dreams. It simply means that we should not let our happiness depend on achieving them. For example, if you want to be successful in your career, that is a good goal, but you should not think that you will only be happy when you reach it. Instead, you should enjoy the journey and be grateful for what you have right now. The Stoics believed that true happiness comes from within, not from external things. Another Stoic practice is to prepare for the worst. This might sound negative, but it is actually a way to stay strong and resilient. The Stoics would often imagine the worst-case scenario and think about how they would handle it. This is not to make themselves feel bad, but to remind themselves that they can handle anything. For example, if you are worried about losing your job, you can imagine what you would do if it happened. You might realize that you would find another job, learn new skills, or even start your own business. By preparing for the worst, you take away its power to scare you. This is why the Stoics were so calm and fearless. They knew that no matter what happened, they could handle it. Finally, the Stoics believed in the importance of living in the present moment. They taught that we should not dwell on the past or worry about the future. The past is gone, and the future is uncertain. The only moment we have is now. This is why the Stoics practiced mindfulness and focused on what they were doing in the present. For example, if you are eating, focus on the taste of the food. If you are talking to a friend, focus on the conversation. By living in the present, you can find joy and peace in every moment. In conclusion, to live a good life, according to Stoicism, is to live with wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. It is to focus on what we can control, accept what we cannot, and live virtuously. It is to understand our emotions, practice gratitude, prepare for challenges, and live in the present moment. The Stoics believe that a good life is not about what happens to us, but about how we respond to it. If we can stay calm, rational, and kind, no matter what happens, we will live a good life. This is not always easy, but it is simple, and it is within our reach no matter who we are or where we come from. So let us strive to live like the Stoics with courage, wisdom, and peace.